And now we have coming to us is Leila Grant, coming to us from the corporate world, in corporate market industry. And she's going to share her fintech experience navigating the corporate world. Leila Grant, you've got 10 minutes.
For the time that I'm able to speak to you all, I'm really pleased to be on here, and obviously I can relate to a lot of things that Elliot has spoken about, so sorry if there's a bit of repetition. But again, it's my experience, so everyone's experiences are different. Elliot speaks from his perspective as a black male. I'm coming in from a perspective of, obviously I'm a black female, and what I've had to deal with working within capital markets. So I have done a presentation. I'm not sure if I can share the screen, but I will just go through it. So how did I get here? I graduated from the University of York, which is a Russell Group university, and I studied maths and economics. So after that, I had my first graduate role in a Lloyd's of London syndicate, which is insurance-based, based in the City of London. And I worked as a business and data analyst within their finance department. And from that experience, I made a lot of my close friends, who I still keep in contact with to this day. And then from there, I realised I didn't really enjoy insurance. I didn't see it as dynamic. So I moved over to the capital market sector, which is basically trading day to day. So I work very closely with the fixed income markets and the FX teams for trading, but essentially as a broker. So the middleman between traders on a voice market and electronic market. So I was there from 2015 to 2018 as a business analyst in the finance department. And through that, I became work experience qualified for the ACA, which is the Institute Chartered Accountants for England and Wales. And then from that experience, I was headhunted to join another capital markets firm where they turn around $1.6 billion in revenue, and was in charge of a team which builds an analytics trading platform. So it's a case of dealing with lots of data and being able to lead a product team as well as developers. So my experiences have been quite unique in the sense that I am black and I'm female. So as a female, I've had people, well, my line manager in particular, say I need to be humble. He was the product strategy director of EMEA, and I don't think at any point he's been humble to get to where he is. But as a female, he said, okay, I need to be humble. Okay. And then I've always realized that I've always had a male manager. And it seems to be a case, usually, not all the time, where there is a male manager and they always have someone directly under them who's a female. Simply because usually females tend to be more organizational, and it seems that the males are the ones that make the decisions. So I noticed that with one of my colleagues, she was always very organizational, but she didn't come up with the decision making. And I think that was on purpose in a way, because I think she was slightly older than myself, but I think she thought that was the role that suited her and also wouldn't come across threatening to a male. And then also the fact that I'm black, so being treated as if I'm a threat in the workplace. And people that know me, I'm the least threatening person out there. And then job opportunities, again, sometimes we're not given the same opportunities as those from other races. I know for a fact that someone who went to the same Russell Group uni as I did, was able to get role after role given to her without her having to apply for the role. Whereas I know many people, including myself, who have applied for roles internally, yet still struggle to get that role because of the prejudices. Even though some people are like, yeah, you'll definitely get that role, sometimes they see it as if, okay, well, you're actually overskilled for the role, or you're actually too good for the role, you're better than the manager. I've had that said to me. And there's another assumption that the Black people can't do front-facing roles, or ones that earn bonuses, like the larger bonuses. So, for example, when as a front office person, they always seem to think, okay, well, it's the white male will be able to attend those sales meetings, and we tend to do all the work behind the scenes. So I found that was quite significant in the capital market sector. And also being told that I'm intelligent, but it was considered a negative. So the question is, what are the benefits of working in the city when we face these challenges? Well, generally, obviously you get pensions, can go up to 20%. If you're being paid by the employer, pensions and insurance companies tend to pay really good pensions. I know for one role I had about 13% paid by the employer, and then I could match it on top of that for my pension. Then there's share schemes, which can also be advantageous. You can also get generous annual leave, depending on how much time you've been working for the company. There's ways to get involved in sports. So you can you can get involved in netball, marathons, quiz nights, sports teams. You can create your own, and a lot of the ways that you can get involved is being part of the social and sports committee. There are discounts on retailer goods or services, as well as gyms. There's healthy fruit available, and sometimes you get subsidised canteens or completely free canteens if you work for Bloomberg offices, for example. And then there's travel and car schemes available, as well as professional exams that can be paid for. So the question I have is, what kind of solutions are available to those that are from our kind of background? And I would say that it's very useful to have a degree to start off as a bare minimum, and especially from a STEM related type degree, or traditional subjects such as law, history or English. I mean, we can't all have media degrees and want to make an impact in different industries. There's definitely a gap there. Because I find that, when I walk into the capital market sector, I know that I'm definitely a minority, and I would love to see more races of different backgrounds that work in a firm, because it just makes it a better place for everyone to work in. Another solution is to get qualified in any professional qualification that you are striving towards, whether that be an MBA or a PhD or ACA. The more specialised we are, the better stance we have when applying for roles and being able to retain those roles, because we have that specialist knowledge. So yeah, the more accreditations in the sector that we have, the more respect tends to be given. We also need to have a mentor. I'm one to think that, it's very important for me to be mentored as well as for me to be a mentor for those that are younger than me, for example. I think everyone's experience is valuable. Join a network of aspiring like-minded professionals. Learn around your area of expertise. Really become a specialist in your field. Your specialism will deter you from any redundancies as your skill or added value is needed. Make friends with management. Be open to take opportunities here or abroad. Opportunities rarely happen, and if they do, they usually come around once. Be open to adapt. Not always necessarily just thinking, okay, you need to know your area, but sometimes it's important to know other areas also. Whether management or not, it is important to keep up with the latest developments. So technology gives us the time to shine. We should embrace technology, a way to sell products without a colour attached to it. I would say that software engineers are extremely in demand in this current pandemic. Think of ideas, solutions to problems, and back up those points. Always record your microaggressions privately. Discuss it with your manager if it's got to that point where there's no resolution. And if not, then you could take grievances at a last resort. Will the corporate world change since the Black Lives Matter protests? My opinion is that in the short term, really and truly, I don't know how much change is going to be made, other than the fact that they have now been massively advertising for diversity and inclusion managers, and they want more representation on the boards, which is great. But a lot of the time for diversity inclusion managers, I find that they're not taken up by Black persons. They're usually taken up by white people, which sometimes makes you think, okay, do they understand what diversity and inclusion means? So I kind of feel like we need to tap into more of those roles and help Black people get into these roles, and find out why they're not able to fulfill certain roles at the moment. In the medium term, I think that the government should ensure that there's representation from ethnic minorities on the board. I noticed when they made sure that females got representation on the boards, for CSR reasons, corporate social responsibility reasons, it made them make sure there's a female on the board, usually from HR or marketing, but at least they met the standard. So I do feel like the government can try and implement ethnic minorities being on the board also, because really and truly that is a start. Creating more Black-owned successful businesses, so don't just stay small, look to scale and buy other businesses or do a merger. I've seen many white male directors bring in their friends who are also white male directors. And we need to be able to know that we are in a space where we can hire people that look like us as well, and not be afraid or ashamed to do so. You know, even forwarding a CV to the HR or hiring partner is making an impact. This also builds your network as you move further up the career path. Open to having a mentor. I touched on that earlier. Having a mentor and being a mentor. We can always learn something from one another, as well as correct one another. And I don't think we should have the mentality of always having to fend for ourselves. We need to be able to trust and support one another. And that is it from me. If you want to contact me, you can contact me via my website, which is grantassociatesuk.com, and we can discuss any mentoring queries that you may have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Leila. Thank you very much for your presentation there.
Fashion and furnishings.
VU Designs. Fashion and furnishings.
Fashion and furnishings.